What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Politics with Steve. All right, y'all. So we got a lot of stuff to cover. We are about to spend a lot of time talking about their election results from last night. That is good news for the left-wing movement and Democrats. Before we get started with all of that, I want to take a second and ask everybody to subscribe to my YouTube page, sign up for my email list. Those are the best ways to stay in the loop on all things Politics with Steve. And without further ado, let's get to it. All right, y'all. So last night's elections, it wasn't just an election night. It wasn't just a win for the left. It was a wipeout. Like from New York to Virginia, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Colorado, even Mississippi. Democrats won everything. Literally every race that could have been won, Democrats won it. And Republicans in full meltdown mode. It's nothing but excuses coming from them. But let's talk about what actually happened, all right? All right, so let's do a quick recap. We're going to call this the scoreboard. Starting with New York City, Zohran Mamdani, he is a Democratic socialist. He won the mayor's race in New York City with over 50% of the vote. The youngest person elected mayor in New York City in nearly a century. In Virginia, the Democrats swept all statewide offices, governor, lieutenant governor, attorneys general, and they flipped the House of Delegates with a massive 64 to 36 majority. This is the largest victory in nearly 40 years. Every single county shifted blue. In New Jersey, the governor's race went to a Democrat. In Pennsylvania, Democrats held their Supreme Court seats and they flipped two key school boards in Buck County, a major swing area, rejecting the GOP culture wars and all of these politics on education being woke. All of that's out the window. People rejected that. And like I said, the Democrats flipped two of those key school board members. Colorado, voters literally voted to raise taxes on the wealthy. Households making $300,000 or more to fund free lunches for every public school student. That's an honorable thing to do. Even in deep red Mississippi, Democrats broke the Republican supermajority in the state Senate, one of the reddest legislatures in the country. Again, this was just a beatdown. Like, I don't even want people to think that this is normal. Nah, this was a complete rejection of everything Trump and MAGA stand for. Now, let's dive into some of these races specifically, right? Let's talk about Mamdani's win in New York City, right? This wasn't just an upset. This was David versus Goliath. I mean, dudes started polling around 1%. Mamdani's campaign was outspent 7-1 by billionaires and corporate PAC. I mean, you had Bloomberg, the Walmart family, Airbnb co-founder, Bill Ackman, just a random white right-wing billionaire, DoorDash, all these people bankrolled his opponents. 20 billionaire donors, and they still lost. Now, I think it's important to be honest with people. And I am a CPA. And as a CPA, I'm going to be real for a second. Well, what I know about the economics, some of Mamdani's policies and economic ideas may not actually work as to how they're currently, put on paper. But that's not really the point. The point is his intent is clear. He want to make a real public investment over billionaire influence. You can have true policy, but you can't manufacture integrity. And I can kind of judge his integrity and his character based on what he's trying to accomplish. I think that his policies aren't far off from actually being able to work. And I think that when he have the infrastructure and the resources of what the mayor of New York can actually have, small tweaks to some of his things would definitely make this stuff work. And I think that New York is much better off with him. If I was a resident of New York, I would have voted for Mamdani. Again, he ran against money and won for the people. That's a signal. I mean, voters are done with candidates who do nothing but protect their wealthy, donors and really don't care about working people. Like I said, like I think that he ran a perfect campaign. And Virginia, that was the biggest message of the night. All statewide offices flipped blue. Every county shifted blue. Democrats picked up 13 House seats in a state delegation. And just so everybody understand how serious this is, that's a full generational realignment. I mean, this is the biggest Democratic legislative win in the state since early 1980s. Now, when the right wing lose, we all know it's nothing but conspiracies. Stolen election. This, just look on X. That's all you're gonna see is crying and whining from right wing influencers, right wing media outlets, Fox News doing a normal thing, dishing out nothing but conspiracies. I do want to talk about one election that really set them off, and it is the Virginia Attorney General election. And apparently, the Attorney General elect, allegedly said something that right wing conspiracy people are trying to frame as, oh, he says that he is okay with killing conservatives or our kids or something like that. In 2020, Donald Trump reposted a video that said the only good Democrats are dead Democrats. Nothing that this guy said was worse than that, right? Like, I just the whining that these people do is just crazy, right? So in Colorado, people voted to raise their own taxes so that every kid can eat. It's about $40 a month for people making over $300,000. Actually, it's households making over $300,000. But that's what patriotism look like. A community is invested in kids. Republicans claim that they are the party of family and all of this stuff, but they don't do anything to help the average family in America. Every single thing that the Democrats try to do to help the average family in America, they claim that it's so wrong. But again, Colorado voted to raise their own taxes just to give children in public schools free lunch. Pennsylvania, a swing county, Buck County, handed both school board member positions to Democrats. Parents are sick of seeing classrooms turned into battlefields of Fox News talking points, getting rid of this book, that book, because of BS. All right. Like, we all know that none of the stuff that they allege is happening in education is actually happening. And people just tired of playing these games. Even Mississippi, where Democrats had no structural power, they actually haven't had structural power in decades, flipped multiple Senate seats and broke the Republican supermajority. And that means that Republicans cannot just continue to steamroll every vote without bipartisan support in Mississippi. Honestly, that's historic. That is monumental. Like, this is Mississippi we talking about. Now, this is where things get interesting. Republicans cannot agree on what happened and who do they blame. You got House Speaker Mike Johnson saying blue states voted blue. Nothing to see here. Bruh, Virginia governor currently is a Republican. How is that a blue state? That is literally a flip. People on X are only trying to make it seem like only thing that happened was New York and New Jersey, which are two blue states. Man, you got conservative influencers screaming about cheating, and then Donald Trump. He posted that the Republicans lost because he wasn't on a ballot. He basically said, y'all lost, not me. So now this doesn't count. The election was stolen, it's not my fault. They don't know whether to deny, discredit, deflect. Compare that to voters. Voters made decisions rooted in reality, feeding kids, protecting rights, and rejecting just chaos and lies and, just everything that Trump stands for. When one side wins, they talk policy, the left. When the other side lose, they talk conspiracies and cry on X, the right. Trump can claim that Republicans lost because he wasn't on the ballot all he want. But the truth is, Trumpism was on the ballot. The shutdown chaos, the constant grifting, the grievances with locking up his political opponents, the culture war fatigue. People are just sick of it. Even in red states, the conversation is shifting to fairness, public investments, integrity. Now you're seeing people like Marjorie Taylor Greene trying to soften up and sound moderate because they know that the survival of their, electoral hopes depend on breaking away from the circus. Bottom line, I think that you will see a lot of Republicans in Congress and in the Senate look at this and say, the only reason why we vote for Trump, I mean, not vote for Trump, the only reason why we literally rubber stamp anything that Trump tries to accomplish is because we worried about him primarying us. Well, they gonna look at this and say, is his primary even relevant? Like, the people clearly don't care who he endorses. It's gonna take a while for that to be the case in like just super deep red places, and it may not ever be the case, but definitely people that won Senate seats in purple districts, or they have a House seat in a purple district. They gonna take a look at that and say, you know, Donald Trump's endorsement is political toxic. You know what I'm saying? It's political poison. Do I even want that? And look, with Proposition 50, the redistricting reform passed in California, Mississippi cracking open, the math for 2026 just got a lot tougher for the GOP. Hey, you can't gerrymander your way out of bad policies forever. Bad policies, bad brand, bad politicians. Gerrymandering is not going to fix that. This wasn't about blue cities voting blue. This was about America rejecting garbage, period. Like, choosing people over billionaires, choosing common sense over extremists. But like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what was y'all reactions to yesterday's elections. And next, we gonna break down gerrymandering based on California's passing of Proposition 50. A lot of people asking me like what that means, so we gonna dive into that next.